Funny thing, I actually predicted the Gustavo and Brick plushies about 8 months ago when I opened up the Noise plush for the first time. It'd be really good to also get like a Gustavo Brick plushie as well. Maybe just Gustavo, maybe just Brick. Doesn't really matter. Any froth enjoyers? I've done videos for pretty much every Pizza Tower fan gamer merch drop so far, starting with Peppino, then Noise, and a bunch of posters, and the album, the shirts, and here we are today with these big boys. Now, I just knew that the fact that we got more than just Peppino, the actual protagonist, we're probably gonna see some more fan favorite characters. The Noise is what set that in for me, because I realized how far and how willing they were to go with this brand, especially because like how popular Pizza Tower got. I know Pizza Tower is just this tiny little indie game that I saw on Twitter one time that had this wacky art and these demos, and now here we are with just full 3D realized versions of these MS Paint looking characters. I said straight up, like, the person that you would want after Noise is either Gustavo or Brick, and before Gustavo, we got Brick, and then after Brick, we got Gustavo. Now, this isn't exactly Brick, this is just a generic stupid rat, but I feel like the timing between the two of them is very coincidental, you know? First of all, you get the generic not Brick rat, and then following him up immediately after is Gustavo. Speaking of which, I adore how soft and squishy Brick is. Name aside, he actually feels like a pillow. He's definitely softer than all the rest of them because he has less shapes to work with, so he's basically just a big, fat, squishy little man, and he's primed for smacking. They really should have advertised that. I love that Brick's front view looks exactly like the stupid rats from the rest of the game. You can perfectly see his little hands and feet out in the front, and there's no arms on him either, they're just sticking out on the front. It's very cute. His little schnauzer. His side view is really good. His tail has perfect seam lines so that you can see the lines in the rat tail. He's very easy to throw around, and he usually lands on his feet. I will say the bags that these came in are a little bit of a letdown. I know most people probably don't care, but the first two Pizza Tower plush bags just had the Pizza Tower logo printed directly on them. And I think the Pizza Tower logo is really cool because it has basically been the logo since the name for the game was finalized. This was just drawn in A Sprite. It feels like something that I could have drawn. It's just like amateur looking block letters and everything, so it's really cool seeing it on professionally made merchandise that probably thousands of people have bought. You have this physically on a package. Like, I never thought that Pizza Tower would even be getting a physical copy, let alone console ports. I always thought this would just be a tiny little indie game on Steam. But here we are with physical media. So the fact that these bags just say Fan Gamer now is pretty disappointing. I've actually saved my other two bags from Peppino and Noise, and knowing that they're not using it for Gustavo and Brick, I am pretty happy I saved them. Every plushie in the Pizza Tower set has their own sprite converted into a little tag. Peppino has a slice of pizza, Noise has a skateboard, and Gustavo has Brick. I enjoy that these are the game-accurate sprites without any of the pixels on them, because Pizza Tower's art style is basically doodling with a little ballpoint pen, but they translated that art style into pixels instead of doing traditional pixel art style where everything is rigid and planned. So it's pretty refreshing to see the Pizza Tower sprites just drawn with pen. Also, that being said, the stupid rat, the generic stupid rat that isn't Brick, his tag is the block of cheese that's on the stick that Gustavo carries. I love that Gustavo's whole body is actually just a round little ball, exactly like he's drawn in the game. His little chibi limbs are exactly as they are in the game, and it works amazingly for the plushes. I actually think Gustavo might be the best plushie detail-wise. Versatility-wise, that's probably the stupid rat, because he's just a little pillow that you can throw on your couch in your living room, or you can have on your bed, or you can chuck at the wall, or you can smack on the stomach. Like, Peppino doesn't really look like his official artwork. He's obviously got his style changed and his expression is a lot happier than usual because it's trying to fit the marketable plushie aesthetic. His hands do have individual fingers, whereas Gustavo's don't really, so that part of the art style is intact, but you can see that Peppino's body is like kind of stubby and round, a lot more so than it actually is in the game. He's basically got the same body type as Gustavo, but it works a lot more for Gustavo because he doesn't have the extra eyepieces plastered on the front of his face. He just has two little lines. His art style is already very chibi in general, so every part of Gustavo's plush feels 100% accurate to the game, whereas Peppino's plush looks like a very different stylization of him. Noise is a very similar uncanniness with the little stylization of the plush, but I think he gets away with it a lot more than Peppino. That's not really an issue with Gustavo and Brick. They're stylized perfectly, and it makes their quality overall feel a lot higher than Noise and Peppino. I love the Peppino plush, don't get me wrong. This is always going to be the most iconic one to me, because I'll never forget the day that I saw that they were actually making a physical plush of Peppino, and I especially love merchandise for indie games, because indie games are typically associated with being on digital storefronts only. So like I was saying earlier, it's phenomenal seeing a piece of this physically in my hands that I can touch and hold. The fact that there's tangibility for this little character makes me very happy. So out of principle, I'm always gonna love the Peppino plush. Gustavo has so many accurate details on him, like on the back here, he has a knot for his apron, which is really funny because Peppino is the main chef that you're gonna associate this franchise with, but he doesn't have an apron, he just wears a wife beater. Much like Brick, Gustavo is very soft and squishy. Like, the actual material of these plush is pretty much the exact same as Noise and Peppino, but for example, Peppino's mustache is very thin and cheap feeling, whereas Gustavo's mustache is pretty thick and is like the same material as every other part of the plush. For all the smacking I've been doing on Brick, he's very firm. Whenever you squish him, he just pops right back into place the way he should be. So like overall, like the design and the quality of these ones feel really worth it, especially considering plushies these days are a little bit expensive for my taste. It's just that I have such loyalty for Pizza Tower watching it succeed that I just want to buy all of these. In fact, these are so expensive, I was waiting for the Pizza Tower Special Edition to come out so I could order it alongside Brick so that I could have cheaper shipping, but they ended up having Gustavo conveniently getting produced, so I was like, damn, I can ship both of them together, like the pair they are. That being said as well, Brick is easily towering over most of these guys. He scales pretty well to Gustavo, but compared to Noise and Peppino, who have different designs, he's a lot bigger than both of them, and that definitely works out with the game, considering all the dumb rats that block your pathways. And it's crazy too, because Brick is so big, but he's the exact same price as everyone else. You're getting the same value. Honestly, there's just a piece of me that feels whole seeing all four of these guys sitting next to each other physically on my desk. I knew no matter what I would be supporting Pizza Tower, even if it was niche, even if it was as popular as it is now, because it is a video game-ass video game. You can tell mcpig has such a love for every genre of game and arcade-style stuff, and on top of that, he is not afraid to put little shitpost humor into his commercially ready video game. He has the wackiest art style I think I've seen in a game in the past 15 years, and I still don't think anything is gonna top it without looking way too similar. And I mean, at the end of the day, it was the art style and animation that really pulled me in the first place. And then they got the game-accurate designs here, dude. It's nice. It's nice seeing these little freaks occupying the same space I do, because I'm usually occupying my brain space with them anyway. Never in a million years would I thought that I can have a Pizza Tower shrine. And I think Fangamer does some really good work with every franchise they worked on. Anyway, I know this was a lot different than my other Pizza Tower unboxings. I just wanted to give this a genuine commentary. And hey, for some good measures, let's give Brick a few more smacks. If you're new here, consider checking out my Pizza Tower playlist. I usually do Sonic videos, but I have quite a few Pizza Tower videos in my catalog, and each one of them is some of the most effort I put into any video on my channel. I just have a love for platformers, man, what can I say?